Hello. Hi. I can't actually see myself because of the sun. So if this video is really badly recorded or I don't know, something of the sorts, I apologize. I just tried to record it as a podcast. And my reason for doing that was that I get distracted by like filming myself. But then I listened back to it and I realized it's actually really boring, especially at this stage of my like articulation to podcast, because I am not fluent enough with my words to really get my points across. And I think that at least having some expression on my face may make it slightly more entertaining to watch. I don't know. But that's what I thought. So here I am, and I'm just trying to figure out the light. Oh, there's the. Okay, let me do it like this. It also kind of links to the thing that I wanted to talk about, which is to do with social status and anxiety, because part of the reason I also didn't want to film is that I'm embarrassed about having put on weight, and I didn't want to film myself. But here I am. So here we are. Okay, so basically I want to apologise because I have been filming my past few vlogs, my starting vlogs, like I know something, anything, and I don't. I really don't. I've been introspecting and thinking about the mind and emotions and society and human connections and relationships, honestly, since I was like 15 and I'm now 20. And I know that 5 years isn't very long, but at the same time it has been quite all-consuming for those 5 years. And honestly, I don't feel much better. I would say that I probably know more. I know more about, I can help, I can give people advice. I can understand human behavior, kind of like, I see it like a chessboard, so I can understand why people make the moves they do and feel compassion, and recognize unconscious behavior. But, big fat but, none of these things stop the feels. And I'm still highly sensitive and I still don't react to my emotion. I don't know how to handle my emotions. I don't react to them when they come up in a way that helps my vessel function at its best. I still eat my feelings. I still use TV to numb myself. I still struggle sleeping at night. I'm probably definitely over dependent on my relationships, like particularly my best friends, for support and for advice. And honestly, when I think about going and doing some sort of spiritual retreat somewhere Eastern and learning more about the Eastern way of life and meditating more, that scares the shit out of me, because it feels like detachment from everything I'm dependent on. Shoulder shrug. Yeah. So, where does that put me, leave me, start me, finish me? Well, I'm being honest. And I'm realizing that that's not something that is something, let me flip it. That is something that I would like to channel outwards into the world, honesty. And that's why I started this in the first place. The cathartic element of an unconscious audience is something that cannot be replicated in one's own world. It's why artists need to perform to an audience, and by artists I mean musicians. Artists, painters need to have their work seen. We have a dialogue, we have a relationship with the world at large, whether or not we want to admit it. And while I can say that an individual's opinion does not affect me, in the sense that if someone watched this and said, she has put on weight, for example, or said, that's a bit weird, why is she telling her diary life story to the world. No one's watching, get over yourself. But do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of easy ways to criticize me. And if an individual did that, it wouldn't bother me, because I would be able to reflect on that notion and say, okay, well, someone speculating on me is only able to see me through the lens that they see the world. And the way that they see the world isn't reality, it's just their view. And more than that, generally people speculate and criticize others in the way that they speculate and criticize themselves. So actually, the only thing to really feel is compassion, that someone looks and judges on something like vulnerability, or, well, that's really it. It's vulnerability, isn't it? Through and through. And it's just the ego that would get in the way of that, and it's also just the ego that would criticize it. So that doesn't bother me. But what does bother me is the thought of the whole world rejecting me. And by the whole world, I obviously only mean the people that I love and care about. And when I rationalize it through, it doesn't make sense, because the parts that can be rejected are only things that are conditional, and things that are conditional were never anything other than practically already rejected, because you only had them under the premise that you behaved in a certain way, and if that way isn't aligned with who you are, you never really had them. A good example of that is if someone is homosexual and has a homophobic family, they are never going to be accepted as they are, because that family will be homophobic. It doesn't mean that they're not perfect as they are, it just means that they're in an environment that doesn't accept them. And yeah, I feel similarly, especially with, you know, having bipolar. I feel quite embarrassed that I'm not more strong-headed, strong-faced, driven, you know, less sensitive, all of these things. I'm sorry for that on some level, and on another level, I don't believe I'm the only one. And I believe that my sensitivity allows me to have a lot of compassion and empathy. And so I would like to use this platform as a space to feel and show that towards myself to the extent I can. I find it really hard, obviously, shoulder shrug, and also to others. And really, truly a non-judging breakfast club. I think I might have said that before, but we're back there. And if that makes me a loser, if that makes me a nobody, if that makes me gay, then I'm all of those things. And I would like to meet more people like that. So where you at? And beyond that, the only thing is learning how to better squeeze the fucking juice out of the lemons that is this thing called life, because there is not much other point in being here. And I don't mean that cynically, I just mean it very practically. Like, it doesn't really make sense. So squeezing lemons and enjoying the sensory experience, which is what it is. It's what my friend's mum said to me. It's a sensory experience, and she really is right. It's the sound, it's the smell, it's the touch, and a huge part of it is the energy, which is why I think I am going to put a lot of energy into focusing on energy in these vlogs, in terms of both finding good energies in life and also generating it within, and ways to look after the vessel. Okay. And also, it's Greek Easter. This is my last thing. It's Greek Easter, and yesterday I saw a lamb. That what they do here is they skin it and they shove a skewer through it and they open its stomach, take out its intestines, fill it with garlic, and then sew it back up and spin it around a roast. I was vegan for a while and vegetarian basically since I was like 11, and I stopped being vegetarian for love, kind of weirdly, and then enjoyed meat, and seeing that yesterday has sent me back. I think I was shown that for a reason. So today is my last day of eating animal products, as I have sort of unwillingly kind of obliged to try this lamb. And after that, yeah, back to vegan. And I hate that I'm saying it because it means I have to commit to it. But I do, and I will. I'm so bad at committing to things, but basically I know that for me it is the right way of life. It's just hard because I like food a lot, but we'll do our do or do not. There is no try. We will. Oh, can you see how hard I'm finding it to commit? Well, we will. Okay, peace out. Spud that kind of stuff.